Hey y'all, welcome to Angie's Ales. It's Brew Day. I'm the Brew Nut. All right, today we're going to be making a hard seltzer. You may have noticed that they're becoming very popular. All the big breweries are doing them, and even all the local small breweries are working on hard seltzers. We're going to make a little 11-gallon batch today. Fill up 2 corny kegs. We're going to ferment it in the Sanke and keep it in the fridge. So kind of what goes into a hard seltzer is you want to start with purified drinking water or RO water, reverse osmosis. So I'm going to go ahead and add the last gallon. I have 12 gallons total. This is me the 12 gallons, already 11 gallons in here. But I figured you guys didn't want to see me pour 12 gallons. What do you think? All right, the next thing that you're going to add is 6 pounds of just corn sugar. All right, so that's why it stays clear. There's no grain that creates a wort. If you're familiar with all grain brewing, there's no extract, anything like that. Nothing going to give it any color. So just pure corn sugar. So the problem with doing just pure corn sugar is, and distilled water or RO water is what we're using, is there's no minerals in that, as everything has been removed through filtration or by boiling in the distilling process. So what we're going to be adding is some 5 grams of magnesium chloride, 5 grams of Epsom salt, and 6 grams of baking soda. And that's going to kind of give the water like a building place. So if you're into home brewing, you might know about water chemistry and things like that. So that's kind of where this comes from. We're starting with water that is basically naked, and we're using a sugar base to create wort, or maybe a sugar wash, there might be a better word for it, is with no nutrients. So we're going to add some stuff to the water to give that yeast a little bit of a head start. We'll be fermenting with a vodka yeast that is kind of made for kind of bland plain sugars. So that's what we'll be using. So let's go ahead and fire up the heat and get this thing going. I'm just going to go ahead and turn on my gas on my valve on just the one burner. So I hear a flow. Then I'm going to use my igniter that I have on my brew controller to get that lit off. So I'm going to adjust my flame. And now we just wait. Okay, the Brew Nut back here at our hard seltzer. I've had it on the burner for about 30 minutes, coming up to getting a boil now. So we're going to go ahead and add our brewing salts. So again, we're going to add 5 grams of magnesium chloride. Five grams of Epsom salt. And 6 grams of baking soda. Go ahead and grab our trusty stainless mash paddle. Give that a good mixing. The next thing we're going to be adding is our 6 pounds of corn sugar. There's 3 pans down. Go ahead and add second bag. good mix. Well, so we're going to let that boil for about 15 minutes. One thing you have to remember is to make sure that you're recirculating your wort, or in this case our sugar wash from our hard seltzer, through your pump and through your wort chiller. You do not want to have your system not sanitized or sterilized from the boiling water. So before you go ahead and do that, you want to make sure that you're recirculating through that stuff. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do now. All right, I'll be right back after this is boiled for 15 minutes, and we go ahead and put it in the keg. All right, so we had our sugar wash boiling for 15 minutes. It's been recirculating through our pump and through our wort chiller. So we'll go ahead and turn the gas off now. What I like to do prior to transferring to the keg is making sure that my output temperature is going to be cold enough for transfer to the keg. So all I do is I turn on my wort chiller water on my valve and start putting water through. So right now my output from my wort chiller is about 90 degrees. So I'm going to let it run for a few minutes to go ahead and let it get down the rest of the way. Then I look a little bit colder. I'd like to be closer somewhere to 75 range, to 70 to 75 range, which is safe for the yeast. All right, y'all. So I've been recirculating this sugar wash for the hard cider for about 10 minutes. And I've only reached about 80 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to pitch the yeast yet. So what I'll do is I'll pitch the yeast once I put it into the fermentation fridge, because it says it's only safe between the temperatures of 62 and 73 degrees on the package of the Turbo Pure vodka yeast. So we're going to wait on pitching this yeast. It's about 100 degrees today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and set up our fermenter to go ahead and transfer it in. So I always like to give everything a good spray with Star San, sanitizer, everything nice and clean. Before installing anything prior to fermentation. So go ahead and install this. Caught me a little bit there. I got it on there now. Go ahead and tighten this down. You want a good seal on this tri-clamp off the keg. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off my pump momentarily. I'm going to close my ball valve on my boil kettle. Good spray down on here. want to be careful. This just had water coming through it. Open that. I'm going to go ahead and open my ball valve, and then I'm also going to vent some air. Turn my pump back on. Now I'm filling the keg up. That's basically it. All right, I'm back. So I was able to cool it down to about 79 degrees. So I was wrong. When I reread the package of yeast, I can pitch up to 86 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and pitch the yeast. We don't have to cool it off. But if you ever run into that situation, you can always pitch after using your temperature control in your fermenter in order to set that temperature. So I go ahead and grab my turbo yeast. I always like to just maybe being a little bit extra. I like to spray my tools and my yeast packet a little bit of sanitizer before I apply it in. So this is a dry yeast. Get everything sprayed off real well, and go ahead and reinstall fermenter cap. Tighten down your TC fitting, and you are good to go. Hey, Brewnut here. Just got a quick video showing the fermenter in the fermentation fridge. Got active fermentation happening. See here the blow-off tube. It's going quite well. Thanks for coming by Angie's Ales. I'm the Brewnut. Thanks for learning how to make a hard seltzer and kegging it into a Kegmentor. Peace out, y'all. Keep brewing.